Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet Designs. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are making this gorgeous little Christmas tree. Yay. Now I call it a little Christmas tree because we are creating, look at the size of it, it's tiny. We are creating this for our garland or bunting if you will. We are creating a bunting or a garland on the channel for our subscribers and for my craft room, which you will get to see during our lives once it's created, which is very exciting. Speaking of lives, the color combination chosen today was chosen by Elaine, one of our subscribers, on our live on Saturday morning. Now what happens is I lay a whole lot of yarn out on a table, and it's called Live Antics by the way. I pop the yarn on the table and I say, right, choose these colors for the very next color combination on the channel, and I pick one of the subscribers on the live at the time to choose the colors. And Elaine was chosen this week. It was her turn, and we've got a few people chosen this week for the other items we're making. One will be a Santa head, his whole head with the beard and all, and the other one is a snowflake or a star, if you will, more likely a star. So we are doing the 3 items for the actual garland, and we have chosen 3 different subscribers to choose the color combinations, and Elaine came up with this gorgeous color combination. Now she didn't know what I was creating. She knew I was creating a tree for Christmas, but she didn't know the style or the pattern or anything, but there you go. So Elaine, thank you very much for your choice. Now the yarn I'm using today is from the, as you all know, I love to use Bendigo yarn. Now this is their 8-ply cotton, 8-ply, or DK weight, or a number 3. You can use any 8-ply or any DK weight that you have in stock. And I think it only took about, I don't know, 3 grams, 4. I can't remember. It's so little yarn. So great stash busting project for you. It does call for a 4mm hook. However, I found that it was better for me to use a 3.5. It gave it more of a closed look. The 4 was kind of really gappy and I didn't really like it. All right, so I used a 3.5mm hook. You will also need a pair of scissors. You'll need your sewing needle, guys. There are a little bit too many threads in this. There's a lot of cutting. It doesn't look like it, but there will be, I'm sorry. But it does look better, trust me. You will need 3 stitch markers. To be honest with you, I did eventually stop using the 2 because what happened was this one here was up the top to keep it in place so that you knew where to crochet into with your white. But when I found by putting them in the sides, it was difficult for me to pop my crochet hook in. So if you have that problem, you can omit them, but just making sure you are getting into your last top chain, if that helps. I hope that helps when you are doing yours. You see me do it and I just say, right, I'm not using this anymore because I can't get my hook in. So you see me using it. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy creating your gorgeous Christmas tree color combination chosen by the lovely Elaine. Good luck all. All right, guys, we're going to start off by using the green and we're going to make a slip knot. So grabbing the tail end of your yarn, wrap it around your finger once and twice, holding it there, holding it down there. Yep. Grab the back loop, pass it halfway over your finger, hold it there. Grab the other loop, passing it all the way over. Pop your hook in and give everything a tug. Yeah. Now hopefully the green is not too hard to see, but it looks a little dark here, even with the light. Anyway, so yarn over your hook. We're going to pull a loop through and form a chain. So that's 1 chain. Now we're going to do 3 more. Yarn over, 2 chains, yarn over, 3, yarn over, 4. Now if you can, try and get your stitch marker through the top 2 loops of the chain. I reckon I split it, but anyway, you should have 1 little loop on the bottom and 2 loops on the top. If you can. If you can't, we can work it out later. Don't stress. She says as she's stressing. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So that is your 4 chains altogether. Now we're going to go back into that very first chain that we made with 2 double crochets. And a double crochet is yarn over your hook, straight into that chain right there. Should have like 2 loops on top there while you're working. Pull a loop through like so. You've got 3 loops on your hook yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, and you should have that. Now your chains here will act as a double crochet, and then you've got your second double crochet, which is really your first, right? We're going to do one more in the same chain like that, pulling through 2 and pulling through 2. All right, before you continue, I want you to grab a third, I'm going to call this a third stitch marker because we're using 3, but these little orange ones will be used on both ends. But this third one is going right in that stitch that we just did all our work in. You don't really need it there. This is just to show the newbies, well, you're new, that when we come around here, what we're going to do later with our white. So don't stress about it now. Just pop your stitch marker in it and leave it there until the end of our tree. Yeah. In the meantime, the first 2 rows, guys, are difficult. After that, the rest is easy. Yeah. So you're chaining 1, 2, and 3. Grab that stitch marker again. Pop it in the top 2 loops of that chain. Yeah. Top 2 loops. And I've just lost a loop. You know why? We're using a thinner hook today, so the stitches are smaller. But I do want the thinner hook. I think it gives it a better look. Yeah. All right. So where are we? That's where we are. No, we're not. Get it right, Mary. Okay, we were here and we have chained 3. Yeah. Now we're going to turn our work. You can turn it either way. You're going to work in these along in these stitches here. Just move that stitch marker out of the way. You can turn it this way, or you could have turned it the other way. It doesn't matter. Just remain consistent throughout your work. Yeah. Yarn over your hook. You're going to pop a double crochet in that little stitch you see right there. It's a tiny little gap. You've got your big gap down there and your tiny little space there, and you should have 2 loops on top when you do this, and your stitch down the bottom. So pop your double crochet in that stitch, which is the same stitch that you are in, and this is increasing for the round. Okay, I'm sorry, let's try row. We're not working in rounds. Now you've got that double crochet right there. See that one? You're going to put a double crochet in that one right there. Once again, 2 loops on top and stitch on the bottom. Pull a loop through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Now you're going to put 2 double crochets in that chain stitch that you have your stitch marker in. So I've asked you to put a stitch marker in because sometimes it's hard to find at the end of the row. Some people find it better not to have the stitch marker there for this particular pattern, because it can, when you're turning your work, it can get a bit tight. So you do your double crochet in that first stitch. I'm sorry, let's try last stitch. Hello, she's all over the place. The last stitch there, which was initially a first stitch once, but not in this row. Do you like that? All right, so we're going to do 1 more in there. So you should have taken out your stitch marker and placed your second one in there. And in this row here, because we did increasing on both sides, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's including your chains there. Yeah. So now you're going to do exactly the same, but you're increasing. Yeah. So you're chaining 1, 2, and 3, popping your stitch marker in. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, you don't need to use the stitch markers. I'm using them here to show the new crocheter where they need to crochet in at the end of the row. Yeah. So turning your work once again, you are putting a double crochet in the same stitch that you are in, like so. Let me just, my yarn's all tugging here. Sorry, guys. And then you are putting 1 in that stitch right there with the 2 loops on top. 1 in the next stitch. That's your second one. Actually, it's your third. If you've already got 1 in there, 2, 3, and then you've got a 4th one right here. And then you need to put 2 more in there. 2 more double crochets. 2 double crochets, I should say. not more because you haven't got any in there at the moment. And I am struggling with the stitch marker in. So if you want to not put it in, that's by all means, you don't have to, because I'm struggling with it. And all you need to do is find that stitch, making sure you have the 2 loops on top like so, and do your 2 double crochets. All right. Hopefully you don't crochet as tight as I do, but there you go. All right, chaining 1, 2, 3, repeat the row. All right, so all you're doing is repeating that row over and over again until it starts to grow. I'm not going to let you head off and do it because it's not that big, and we're going to do it together. It's a lot easier. We might speed up the middle bits soon, but anyway, keep going. Double crochet in that first one, and I forgot to put my stitch marker in. So you can put it in if you like. I'm going to leave them out because I find it easier to work with them out here. Just give me one moment, guys. I'm going to raise the stand a little bit. It's quite dark. It's hard to see the green. How's that? Did that work? Oh, that's better. All right. So now we are putting a double crochet, and we can count them across. We've done 1 already there. Yep. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stop, guys, because I'm going to try and fix this frame for this. Because we're using green, it can become a little bit difficult to see. How's that? Did that work? It's a bit better. 5. 6 is in the very last double crochet right there. And 2 goes in that stitch marker stitch, which I split. That's why it's probably best not to have the stitch marker in it, because it's a little tight. And the reason it's tight is because we are twisting our piece when we turn, yeah? So there we go. So 2 double crochets, and I split the yarn again. Hello. 2 double crochets in that stitch there. 1 and 2. So you can start to see here already that you're getting that triangle effect, which is, that's the upside down of the tree. The tree's going to look like that. That's the top of the tree, and that's the base of the tree. So it's growing, yeah? So you're getting that effect. It's all happening. It's all happening. But altogether, you should have, including the chains, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what you're doing is you are increasing 2 in each row. So your next row should be 11. And then your next row should be 13. All right. So chain all 1, 2, 3, turn your work, double crochet in the same stitch as your chain 3, and double crochet across, and off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2 in the last, which is 8. Oh, that didn't even go in. Oh well. Let's try that again. There it is. 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. So if you want to count them again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. Sorry guys, I am playing with the stand today. I want you to be able to see these stitches a lot better. So my apologies here, guys. So chain 1, 2, and 3. This is what happens when you're using a darker colour. It's really hard to see. But anyway, you are putting a double crochet in the same stitch. Get excited, guys. This is the last increase round. Yeah. And then you're putting 1 across there. So it's actually 1, 2, 3. And let's go. You should have 13 by the end of this round. 4. Shall I pop it on fast for you? Okay, let's pop it on fast. I think that's a good idea. 5. 11. I've got 11 so far. Give me a second, I'll bring this up again. And in that top chain you are putting 2, it is really tight, 2 double crochets, which is 12, really tight chain, and a 13, like so. All right, so you're going to chain 1, pulling up a loop, yeah? I shouldn't have brought that in, should I? And just grab your scissors and give it a cut, keeping your work just on this side for a minute, yeah? Now we are going to flip your work like that. Grab your green again. All right, pick it up. So it's like we're chaining up 3 and turning, when really we haven't, all right? So now what I want you to do, which is a little bit awkward, I might need this little sewing needle for this. Oh no, actually you won't. There's your chains. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this stitch right here, on the 5th one, you're going to pop your hook. Now if you wanted to count it properly, you're counting these little V's. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and pop your hook in the 5th V. I hope that helped, yeah? Grab your little tail, pop it through like that. Pulling your yarn forward for a minute. We're just going to lock that into place. Chain 1, and we'll just chain 2 and 3, and we'll just crochet over that tail, yeah? And in your very next stitch, actually we won't, because I want you to see the stitches. Right there is your next stitch. We can weave it in. We're going to weave it in anyway. So pop your hook in the stitch like normal and do a double crochet. No increasing, just going right into the next stitch with a double crochet. 1 into your 3rd stitch, 1 into your next stitch, and 1 into your very next stitch, like so. All right, so what you have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're in the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're in the 5th. So you have started the base of your tree, yeah? So now we are going to chain up 1, 2, 3, turning your work like normal. No increasing, no adding in that stitch there. We're going straight into the very next stitch, into the next stitch with a double crochet, and 1 into the next, and 1 into your next. But you still have the chain 3 here, don't miss that, or you'll be 1 short. So 1 into the top stitch of your chain 3. It is better without the stitch markers, isn't it? All right, and that's what you have so far, which is pretty much the end of that. You're thinking, that's not a tree yet. Well, it kind of is a little bit, but not yet. So what you're going to do is pull up a loop. I told you there's going to be some cutting involved here, which means a bit of weaving. But that, look, it's a part of it all, guys. Give it a tug. So what you're going to do now is, once again, you're going to flip your work, yeah? And this time, if we had planned this right, we could have just left a tail here, a really big long tail, and used that. But you don't know how that's going to work and will it be enough, yeah? So what you're going to do is pop your hook in the stitch with the tail, right? Grabbing your thread. It's only going to be 1 row too, this part, and it's a single crochet row. So grab your thread, pop it over your hook. This might be too close, sorry. Pull the loop through like that. It's still too close. Let's try it again. That's better. All right, keeping all the other threads down, just grabbing your tail. Where's your tail here? And pop it forward so we can lock it into place. Yeah. Chain 1. Oops, I was going to do 2. No. Chain 1 only. And in the same stitch, you're popping a single crochet. And a single crochet is popping the hook in the same stitch and crocheting over the little thread here. Pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. drop that tail at the back, yeah, single into your second, like that, yarn over, pull through 2, single into your third, pull through 2, single into the 4th, and into the 5th where your stitch is, you're going to put a slip stitch. All right, so there's your stitch that your stitch is in. So you're going to pop your hook in that stitch, pull a loop through, and pull it through to the loop on your hook. And then you're going to jump into this space with 2 single crochets over your chains. So you just go into the big space, 1, another 1, 2. Then you're going to pop a third one in that little, it's like a little stitch there, tiny little stitch. You're going to pop a single crochet in that little tiny stitch space. And then you're going to put 2 single crochets in that chain space area. But I would actually pop the first one in, pop your hook in, grab your tail and pop it at the back. So you can crochet over it a bit. 1 single crochet. Bring it down. Don't pull it too tight because you're going to need to get into that stitch there. 2 single crochets. And then you kind of have to get into that stitch right there. Put a single crochet 1 and a second one and a third one, all in the same stitch, yeah, and then single crochet across. 1, 2, 3, and in that top chain right top chain right there, you're going to put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, it was tight. Let's try it again. 3. Turn it to the side. 2 single crochets in the space. 1 and 2. Into that little stitch, like the opposite, we're putting a single crochet. And 2 single crochets in that space there, over the chains again. 1, 2, and a slip stitch in the same stitch that your stitch is in. So you pop your hook in, pull a loop through, and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Then you're popping your hook in the very next stitch and you're doing a single crochet. A little awkward here, but it's not too bad. 1 in the next, 1 in the next, and 1 in the top of your chain, a tight chain there, and that's it. Pull a loop through. Get excited, guys, because believe it or not, this is going to be the final round for this piece, and then we're going to weave in all these 100 million ends. All right, so you've actually made the base of your tree right there. Isn't it cute? Well, that's actually the tree. Now we're going to pop the white on, grabbing your white. All right, now this is where I told you to leave that stitch marker in, not for now, in a second. Now what I want you to do is to find, since we've kind of turned it around this way, this is going to be our right side now. This is where we just started crocheting our single crochets and we went round here, yeah? So where we want to start is right here. All right, so where we had that thread where we last cast off, let me see if I can get it real close. You'll see the stitch right there. That's where we cast off, yeah? So what I want you to do, don't worry about the tail for now. Well, that's too close now. Pop your hook into that little space. Grab your white. Pull it through like so. Just bring the white forward. We're just going to lock it into place so we can... It's because we don't knot that I do that locking into place, yeah? Chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch as your chain 1. Yep. And now what you're going to do, exactly what you did here, we're doing along here. So see that very next little, you can see it there, right there. You're going to pop your hook in and do a single crochet. Yep. Then you're going to put 2 single crochets in that big space, and I'm crocheting over the white tail a little bit. So 1 and 2, 1 into the next, that little space, that little tiny space right there. In each stitch you will have that. You will have your chain look across and then a little tiny space in between. Okay, so that's 1 into the space, 2 into that double crochet. Even though it's on an angle, you still need to put 2 in there. 1 and 2. 1 into that tight little stitch looking thing. 2 into the space. 1 and 2. 1 into the tight stitch. 2 into the space. 1 and 2. 1 into the tight stitch. 2 into the space. 1 and 2. 1 into your tight stitch. And this is where we are. We're close. 2 into that space right there first. 1 and 2. And it would have paid to have crocheted over that, but I'm not going to bother for now. That stitch right there is where we need to pop in 1. Take out your stitch marker now. 1 single crochet first. Yeah. And get rid of the green at the back. 1 single crochet. Yeah. Chain 1, 2, 3 and do another single crochet, all in the same stitch. All right, so what will happen later when we're ready to attach our little Christmas tree, we'll probably attach it there, but I haven't decided yet. Yeah, just keep that in mind for now. And so you've done that. Now you're jumping into your double crochet with 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. It's actually chains. And then 1 into that little tiny stitch there. Yep. 2. This is tight, but it's there. You need to put 2 single crochets into it. 1 and 2. Oops. My yarn's all over the place here. 1 into your stitch. 2 into your space, big space. 1 into the little stitch. 2 into the big space. Almost there, guys. 1 into the little stitch. 2 into your big space. 1 and 2. 1 into the little stitch. All right, now we've got that stitch right there. You need to put 2 in there. So it's 1 and 2. You need, oops, you need to put 1 in the little chain right there. And then you're popping 1 in the first stitch that you made. Like we did, we actually started in the first stitch here. So you're popping 1 in the first stitch. Then you are pulling a loop up. Guess what? That's it. That is it. It's the most difficult part literally was the start. The rest is really quite easy. Now what we're going to do before we attach this, we're going to weave in all these ends too, by the way. Before we attach this on our little bunting, we will have to wash and block it, giving it a nice firm look. How gorgeous does that look? It's so good. And it's a basic Christmas tree. It's nothing over the top, yeah? All right, now what I want you to do is flip your work. Guess what, guys? I'm going to show you 1 or 2 ends and then you're going to do the rest. Seriously, you don't want to be here watching me do all these ends, yeah? All right, so let's see what end is really, really difficult. Let's do this one here because I can see there's nowhere, there's even a knot attached to it. All right, it's the one on one of the whites, not the one that we crocheted over, but the one without the weaving in area. Now you're going to need to weave in different sections here because you've got 1 tail, 2 and 3 tails all in the one corner. If you were to weave that all under here, it's going to be sticking out really tight. So my theory would be, and it's a theory, whether you like the idea or not is another story, is to weave in with some of the green here, to weave in on the green and not so much where I usually weave in under the white, because you're going to need to weave that white under the white, right? So just, you've got 2 greens here, by the way, but I'm doing the one further out. And they're just popping it under one of the threads, just a thread, and I'm splitting the stitch, yeah? Pop it through there, and remember we are at the back. This is the front, which is nice and neat. The back can be a little bit kind of, you know, I call it see-through. It's all see-through, but, you know, that's what I call it. So I pull the loop through a little bit. Then we go in and find some little green stitches here that we can split at the back. Now, before you do any of this, make sure it's correct, because once you start splitting, you can't get this undone. I've tried, trust me, I have tried. All right, don't go too far, because it's not likely that this is going to come undone by sitting up on a bunting anywhere. So just do, I don't know, a little tiny bit with this. You don't need to overdo it. Plus you don't want it to be too super thick. So that's your first one. I thought of doing this corner because it's so full. And then you're going to do the other one. Now that one there can come across this way right here. The white, your white one right here, that can be weaved in under the white. So there you have it, guys. That is our little Christmas tree. Of course, we have to weave in all these ends. Now, I call it a bunting, a garland, whatever you want to call it. In a week's time, Monday week actually, exactly today week, we will be putting our pieces together, because we will be doing the actual garland strip on Monday next week. And to do that, we are going to be doing it and attaching at the same time. Oops. Attaching at the same time. We're attaching from the top of the tree at the same time, all right? So keep that aside for your garland. And a special thank you to the lovely Elaine for her choice of colour combination for today's project. Now, if you wanted to be a part of our colour combinations for our projects, please join us on our lives at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, Melbourne, Australia time, where I lay out all the yarn and I say, right, choose 1, 2, 3, 5 colours, whatever. And when you're finished doing that, we will use those colours for the next tutorial, and your name will be mentioned in the tutorial. So a special thank you again to the lovely Elaine. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to weave in all these ends. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe, because we're going to have so many things happening over the next few months. Some very exciting things coming next year, some new things coming next year. Get excited, guys. Thank you for watching, and Merry Christmas. Ciao for now.